I would get to practices and stuff. I try to get there early and do my work because obviously most of the work is going to be done with the guys, and I'm there if I need it. And then after practice, it was just watching everyone. It's just like, okay, practice is over. What are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? And I sat down with Steph for like hour and a half, 2 hours after the game, and he was, kind and generous enough to like sit there with me, and I asked every question that I had that I could think of, and he wrote down everything for me. So like I have this in my notepad. It's one of my now most prized possessions of the secrets of the mountaintop, the workouts we've done with Klay. I ask him, and the answer you get is like, it's not the answer you think you'd get when you talk to Klay. Like as I've like increased my ability to shoot, it's like, cool, you won't just be able to stand still and shoot the ball because people know you can shoot more. So you ask Klay, like, I'm like, hey, like when you're coming off, like what do you think about? Like you think about like my feet or my shoulders, or like if a guy's this, and you like, and what Klay's answer was? I don't know, bro. I don't think. Like if I can catch the ball and shoot it, I shoot it.
So nice to meet you, Nigel. I'm Tugce from Turkey, and let's start.
Pleasure.
Okay. Well, Nigel, looking back at a season where you set a EuroLeague record and made it to the Final Four, and followed by an exciting summer with the select team, how are you enjoying the ride so far with everything you have accomplished so far?
I just wrote a line on my Instagram post last night about that. These last 2 months, and if you're talking about the season, then okay, these last like 6 months have definitely been a tremendous set of months for me. Basketball life has been fantastic. A lot of the things, almost everything I wanted to do in basketball, I did. And then there's some things that I didn't even have on my radar that I was able to do. Able to travel, which is one of my these last 3 years, newfound love, joy, and passion in being able to travel. So I was able to do that, get to South America. So, and as I wrote, it's once in a lifetime experience that I was able to do these last 2 months with the select team, and the goal is to try to do it once again. So I'll do my best to prepare myself for this season, and then we can see what happens in life. Only thing you can control is what you can control, which is my preparation, and everything after that is out of my hands. So I don't worry about it too much.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit more about your experience with the select team. How has your overall experience been like?
It was the greatest experience of my life. I was telling my friends in my group chat that I needed them to be there with me, because I don't know in your profession or in your life or in your hobbies, like what would be your mountaintop, or what would be peak joy, peak happiness, peak companionship, peak, co-workers, peak moment of something that you could do. But that experience that I had was, as I aptly named my documentary for it, the mountaintop of basketball, being around the best players in the world, being around, one who's regarded as one or two best players of all time. You have another two that are regarded as the top of all time, respectively, in the respective categories. It was incredible, tremendous experience. Just being around the guys, learning from the guys, watching how the whole machine that is USA basketball and how it operates, how it moves, how it goes from country to country, city to city, from arena to practice to gym to eating, watching the guys do their routines, their recovery routines, their pre-hab, their rehab, post-hab. Just watching everything and being that close to greatness. And when you're that close, you can feel, you can see it in the room by the way people act, not so much as the people who are around all the time, because they kind of, get desensitized to it, if you will, but being in those rooms, and then when you go to a different country and you see the way like wow, so this is how it is to like be close to these guys, and this is what it looks like from another another angle. Not to be extremely long-winded, but my short answer that I just gave you is that it was an incredible, indescribable experience, and I'm just very, very happy that I was able to be selected, to be picked, and to be able to go through that and have that once in a lifetime, as I said, experience.
Yeah, I want to ask something more so on the court. What was it like, obviously being on the outside and, playing overseas and watching the NBA, or these current NBA players, been watching them the last few years. We kind of have our own perception of the speed, the length, the size, the strength, and all that. What was it like seeing these guys or being on the court with them in regards to their athleticism, the length, and things of that nature, and also playing within the European rules, within the practices and the scrimmages? What was that like, and what kind of adjustment was that for you, if any?
Seeing it up close is you're seeing, like a small percentile of people. So this team that I was able to watch, which I don't care to debate it, but some people say they're the best teams put together, and to watch it, these guys are better than 99.99999% of the world of basketball players, and to be there and see like the height, the size, the speed, like LeBron's speed and size. To watch Joel is massive. Joel shouldn't exist as a basketball player. Like, he's 7'2", he's 208, maybe 300 pounds. He can shoot. He has footwork, the skill. Like, he's like a creative player. To see Kevin Durant be that tall, that fluid with the ball, and to watch him shoot, like, he shouldn't exist. Unicorn, as Ant Edwards likes to call him. That's his favorite player. To watch Steph shoot up close, like, I spend the majority of my time around Steph, like rebounding, helping Steph, being after practice, just trying to be as close to learn from him as much as possible. So being up close and watching all of that, and watch with these European rules, I see, like, for them, the adjustment was dealing with a smaller court, which is something that I spent the last years playing with. So for me, it's like, yeah, that's not going to work. I can see that's not going to work. I understand you're really good, but it's really hard to do that because there's no room on the court. And you can see that yourself when you watch these games. You're not seeing guys average 35. You're not seeing guys take 35 shots. You're not seeing 160 to 150, which is damn near what you see every NBA game. It's very, very difficult to score. Each possession matters, and of course, they're the best players in the world. So once going through the training camp, once the rhythm was there, the chemistry got there, obviously they were going to figure it out. But at the beginning, you could see it having to be taught, like, okay, this is the spacing we got to deal with. This is the kind of restrictions that we're going to have, and these are the things we need to figure out and figure out quickly, so that way we can win a gold medal. But as I said, best players in the world, some of the best players of all time, so it's a very, very quick learning curve for them.
Yeah, and also, going back to Steph Curry, and obviously we saw the performances that he had, but when you were working with him, and obviously from the little that I know about you, you're also very regimented. Did you take anything from those moments that you had with Steph, and that you're gonna try and, like, implement into, or maybe even not just Steph, but any of the other players? Anything you're gonna take into your own regiment heading into the rest of your career, or even this season?
So overall, from players, just watching, there's a lot of times, like, so for me, the schedule was I would get to practices and stuff. I try to get there early and do my work because obviously most of the work is going to be done with the guys, and I'm there if I'm needed. And then after practice, it was just watching everyone. It's just like, okay, practice is over. What are you doing? Okay, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? What are you doing? What did you do before practice? Okay, what did you do over there? Why are you doing that? Just watching every single person. Everyone has their own thing. Everyone knows what works for them. And then zeroing in on Steph, who I said I wanted to be around the most because in my like from my opinion and the way like my brain works, Steph has and does things that I feel are more tangible for me to pick up because LeBron's 6'9", one of one player of all time. Is really hard to replicate that. KD is 7 feet, 7'1". I'll never be 7'1", some of the other guys, like for example, Anthony Edwards, I asked him one time, I said, what'd you do to like jump so high and get so athletic? And he was like, I don't know. It's just, my dad, I just born like this. So congratulations. You won the lottery. You won the genetic lottery. That's your answer is you just got it. So a lot of those things that, you can't replicate because those are gifts that those players can get, but what you can replicate is work. And I like the way, again, personal, everyone has their own thing, but I just enjoy the way Steph plays, Steph works. And I just literally, like as we were messaging, I had just came from my workout, and what I finished my workout with was one of the conditioning drills that Steph gave me to do. And let me tell you, first of all, it's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. I had one of my childhood lifelong friends do it with me. There's like 5 parts of it. He did the first 2 and then disappeared. I didn't see him until after I finished. So it's very hard. But just learning from Steph about just rhythm, what you do before lifting, guys rehab, the things they do to take care of their body, from icing, rest, stretching, body mobility work, trying to get, whatever, maybe something that they feel, try to take care of those things as soon as possible, sleep schedules. And again, as I shared, I think somewhere on my Instagram, but I was fortunate to, the last day of my time with the team in London, I sat down with Steph for like hour and a half, 2 hours after the game versus maybe Germany. And he was, kind and generous enough to like sit there with me. And I asked every question that I had that I could think of, and he wrote down everything for me. So like I have this in my notepad. It's one of my now most prized possessions of the secrets of the mountaintop. And like I said, it was extremely fortunate to get some of this information because it's some good stuff in there from Mr. Steph Curry. I'll tell you that much. It's good stuff in there.
How about the mental preparation process, Nigel? Did you realize something different in terms of mental preparation, maybe different approaches compared to Europe? Because I know you're completely focused on, mindfulness, and we know that you have been working on that. So anything you noticed?
Noticed that the other players do? That those guys do? You're asking?
Yeah.
So yeah, again, that's another thing I got from Steph. There's this something that he uses, this app. And, obviously I downloaded the app. There's something he uses to get himself going, to zero in. Obviously you see everyone's seen the commercials with LeBron and the app he uses, like the meditation app that he uses. And to watch him do that, in person was crazy. Like I didn't want to feel weird, but I'm just watching him. He did his warm up, he does his stretches, and then he does his like 20, 25 minute. He just lays down there. Does his little meditation thing and goes out and is LeBron James. So like what he does on the commercials is real. His work ethic and obviously speaks for itself. He's going on year, was it 22 now? So something like that. So it's incredible. And everyone has their own thing. You have some guys just listen to music and lock in. Some guys do their meditation. Some guys watch film. Some guys distract themselves. Maybe there's Candy Crush or something like that. Everyone has their own little thing that they do, and there's no right or wrong answer. But it's the beauty of it is seeing that like, okay, there's more than one way to be great, and these are what these guys do. So for me, it's like, okay, what do I do? Is there something maybe I could try that would improve, or am I doing something that someone already does, and there's a way I could do it better?
No, I was gonna ask. So, with obviously you've had NBA experience, and now you're on the other side of your career. As a vet now. What did you leave that USA Select experience with or what did you think? What do you think about your game now in regards to how it fits amongst like NBA players now? Having left the select team and just the overall experience and how you feel you measure up, because obviously you've created a feat overseas that nobody else has done, and you kind of stand alone in that. So I'm interested to see where your mindset is in regards to your talent and where you think it stands right now.
So I think that me last year being first team all EuroLeague in the forward position, which according to the award would make me the best forward in Europe, I think that automatically puts me mid-level in the NBA. Just the ability to be able to just like I start middle of the NBA. Just to be able to do what I do, and obviously you spoke on it. Your job as a scout and other people you work with, like the points I averaged, the record I had, the way I played, like I did all of that without dominating the ball, which being in the NBA, if you're one of those guys, you're already that guy and you've been that guy. Everyone else is just fitting a role around that guy. So for me, to be like, the lead top dog on the team in EuroLeague and I don't dominate the ball, me being on an NBA court with someone who would dominate the ball, like it wouldn't change anything for me. It's like I just played a whole season without the ball. I can cut without the ball. I can move. I can shoot. I can shoot off the dribble. I can shoot off the move. I can create for others. I can create for myself if need be. So I think that my game would translate extremely well. As you saw, again, the analogy I always give, and this isn't me speaking from a place of arrogance or confidence because you need that, but this is just objectively. You watch the guys who come from Europe to the NBA, and when they ask them the same question, like how do you compare the scoring, the physicality, the difficulty from Europe to the NBA, everyone always says it's easier. And it's not easier because like guys are worse or because guys don't care. It's just the rules. Like the main rule changes being three seconds in the key on defense and the 3-point line being a little deeper, which opens up the court. Those two rules change the entire dynamic of the game. So if I'm able to get drives to the rim and there's always a guy who can stand in the lane, like imagine what I could do if there was a guy who couldn't stand in the lane the whole time, or if the 3-point line is wider and now I get a closeout. Once I beat my guy, I'm going to the rim. In Europe, once you beat your guy, there's 2 more guys in front of you. Mm-hmm. So, now you have to create more. So if I can succeed, be efficient, set and break records in that system, I feel the other system would benefit me greatly. But again, my mindset last year was be where my feet are. And obviously from, like you said, this free agent perspective, I have some more work to do. I just got to continue to work and get a little bit better. 50 wasn't enough, apparently.
What's crazy is like from watching the Olympics, I was shocked how much Team USA was not able to take advantage of closeouts. I mean, I was shocked, but I wasn't really shocked but it's just one of those things. It's like obviously the court is crowded, and the D3 that adds a whole nother element. But the funny thing is like I think from the NBA side, evaluating players, let's say in Europe, is like, oh, can he play off of closeouts? Can he do this, that, and the third? And my thing is like, I literally just saw the elites not really creating advantages off of closeouts. So, you know what I'm saying? So if you have a player that can do it, let's say at the EuroLeague level, it's like a no-brainer that he's going to be able to do it at the NBA level.
No brainer. It's like
it's crazy to me though.
it's like you said, you know it, but it's just those aren't those guys' habits, you know, and you are your habits, and those habits for those players, they're the best players in the world. Like with just to use like the names, like if KD gets the ball, like can he close out? Absolutely, he can do everything he wants on the basketball court. But like he can catch the ball, he can look at you, size you up. If Ant Edwards catches, can he close out? Absolutely, he's extremely fast, extremely athletic. But does he do that all the time with Minnesota? No, he get the ball, size you up, do his move, and then he'll shoot his shots. A lot of all those guys, really, besides maybe like Derek and Drew, you know, get the ball, and if they want, the ball stops. They figure out what they want to do. They get to a spot. So with them like figuring that out, and one of the things throughout the course of the training for the preparation games and practices was like, hey guys, just try to keep the ball moving. And this is one of the things that like started in Abu Dhabi before the Serbia game. I was rebounding, warming up, and I told Steph, like, I said, hey Steph, just, you know, be Steph, make everyone play around Steph. Everything's going to work out great. He starts that game and he ends up with like 20 something in the first half, you know, and he comes over to me like, way to put that battery in my back. And I'm like, yeah, Steph, yeah, you know? And then I think once the guys figured out like the way Steph plays is like the way we play in Europe, because that's kind of like the best way to play. And, you know, like once the guys were like, all right, cool, we move the ball once, we're probably going to get a good shot. We move the ball 2 or 3 times, there's nobody on earth that can guard that team. And if you watch some of the clips, like I'm watching with my friends, and there's clips where like Bron drives, kicks the ball, Book catches it, he drives, and then he kicks the ball, and he kicks the ball to a wide open Steph. And then they close out on Steph. And you know who Steph's one more pass is? Kevin Durant again. Like, what? The defense is deciding, do I close out to Steph or leave KD wide open? You know? So like once they figured that out, and you could see it in little pockets, like it was like once it got rolling and the ball got moving, unguardable, unbeatable. And you know, they figured it out and got the gold. So only thing now is word around the street is I may get one of those gold things. So we'll see. I don't know. That's what I've been told. That's what I've been told. That's the rumor. We'll see.
Well, let's talk a bit about your individual performance, Anthony, if you don't have anything to add about that.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so looking back at the season, Nigel, you were there for whatever the team needed, right? So it was like you were the versatile wild card for the team. So I was going to ask, how do you manage all of those roles, and what is your approach to staying sharp in each area?
The role is thanks to just work time, people I've been around, but the last year and a half has been Charlie Torres, which you know for sure, Anthony. Charlie has helped me with a mindset. It's called hunter-gatherer mindset, and the workouts we've done with Klay. I ask him, and the answer you get is like, it's not the answer you think you'd get when you talk to Klay. Like as I've like increased my ability to shoot, it's like, cool, you won't just be able to stand still and shoot the ball because people know you can shoot. So you got to be able to shoot off the move. So boom, last year or 2 years ago, increased it. Last year, went up a notch even more. So you ask Klay, like, I'm like, hey, like, when you're coming off, like, what do you think about? Like, you think about like my feet or my shoulders, or like if a guy's this, and you like, and you know what Klay's answer was? I don't know, bro. I don't think. Like, if I can catch the ball and shoot it, I shoot it. That's the answer. That's the answer. I know you were expecting something really deep and philosophical. I know. So was I. And that's the answer I got. And the truth is, that is literally all you need to do. And as Charlie always says, just be a hunter-gatherer. And like, I've gotten better at manipulating the game. So like my idea is how can I get the ball and shoot the ball? That's the only thing I think about. Everything else comes out like if I was like I can't shoot the ball, okay, there's someone open, I'll pass the ball. But the first thought, the second, third, and fourth thought is what can I do on this play to go get the ball and shoot the ball, or to put myself in a position to shoot the ball. And like last year, I really like locked in on that, and it worked pretty well, huh? So
Dude, it's funny, yo. When I used to work out with Chuck back in the day, him and Shay. But I got put on to a book called The Inner Game of Tennis. I don't know if
great
you've
book.
read it, but
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's basically saying the same thing about just not thinking. You know what I mean? And it's funny. It's funny, but watching. I mean, obviously, you've been in the gym with Klay and Steph. Could you put one ahead of the other when it comes to shooting the ball? What are your thoughts? Just shooting in the gym, just pure shooting in the gym, target practice. We're not talking about defense in front of you, none of that. We're talking about just in the gym, shooting the basketball in a workout.
I mean, you can't go against the greatest shooter of all time. I just feel like from talking to Charlie, look, I'll throw someone else in here with me. So if this goes viral, like I at least have someone I'll take down with me. But Charlie always said like, Klay probably has the potential to be the one. He just like gets bored with making so many that like he'll miss because he gets bored. You know, like that's how good Klay is at shooting. Like he'll just keep shooting, and like after a certain amount, he'll be like, "All right, let me go play with my dog now." You know, and it's just like, all right, you know, or something like that. So that's the Nigel Chuck answer.
I got you. Tugce, you got anything else?
Yeah, I do. And let's talk a bit about the defensive side of the game. Your defensive efforts were obviously strong. When it comes to closing out on a shooter, Nigel, what key cues do you look for? And how do you balance the aggressiveness when you see the player might drive instead of shooting?
Well, the first thing is your team's system. So like each team has their own system. So last year to finish the year with Shars, he's a proponent of sending people to their weak hand. So you close out to send someone whichever hand they close out with and they drive predominantly with, send them to the weak hand. So that's just like, you know, the team rule. That's what he wants us to do. But when you're closing out to someone great, for example, like Mike James, who won MVP, like obviously he can dribble whichever way he wants. He can shoot any shot he wants. He's that good. So with him, it's like send him to where other people are. You know, obviously I don't want him to shoot. So close out in a way to where when you're running, you should have, okay, if you think the game enough, not everyone does, but if you think the game, you're like, I know where I am on the court. When I close out, I know where his players are and should be, and I know where my guys should be based on our rules, and try to send him to as much help as you can. So after you get the three, which is, you know, one of the most efficient shots, like a set spot three, then after that, it's just contest a shot and hope he misses, you know, just try to send him into traffic. And then obviously as the talent level from MVP Mike James, as it goes down to other players throughout the league, it's like, cool, if your job is only to shoot, just run until I'm inside your jersey so that you don't shoot. Or you run to some guys and you know, like, okay, the scouting report is this guy can shoot, but he shot fakes every time. So you have to know who you're closing out to. You have to know every player's tendencies, because you never know what could happen in a transition, a fast break, offensive rebound. You turn around and there's Anthony and you're like, okay, boom, he does this. All right, turn around, boom. Tugce, this is what you do. Like, you have to know these things immediately. So then you adjust to whether it's a non-shooter, a shooter who can only shoot, a shooter who can't dribble, which you just run off and then it's like, cool, you can't do anything else. A shooter who shot fakes, you close out short, then you speed up to get to him. Or like I said, MVP, Mike James, who can do it all. You just run and try to, like, you know, like little kids who play soccer, you know, when it's like the soccer ball's there and it's like everybody's trying to kick the ball. Like that's how you got to guard Mike. Everyone has to be near him at all times so he can't shoot.
You got anything else, Tugce?
Do we have time? Nigel? Okay.
I got it.
If we do, I want to talk a bit about the mental side of the game because, Nigel, I feel like, you know, as we see on your digital diary, that's how you call your Instagram captions, right? So
It is. People think I'm joking. It's literally a diary. It's real life.
it is,
It's
right?
crowdsourced therapy. It really is. It's cheap therapy. It really is.
But it really is so obvious. So you mentioned practicing mindfulness and staying in present a lot, even in intense moments, right? So is it something that you already had from the very early years of your career, or was that something you have learned during the journey?
During the journey, for sure. I wish it was something I had early. I was just telling a couple other people that I've always had a desire for like learning and reading. So I've been able to read a lot. And also I've been, I wouldn't say lucky because this is something I learned from reading. It's like I stopped saying I'm lucky and I just said like the universe always sends me great people. So in my life, I always get sent people that come and teach me and help me, whether it's some people I meet while I'm traveling, teammates, whether it's an ex here, a girl that I met even at a coffee shop that was like, oh, hey, like I saw this or I'm reading this or like, hey, what book are you reading? You know, or just someone at a bookshop just like, hey, if you like this book, read that. Or someone will message me on Instagram and say, hey, I saw you read this. I think you would like a book like this. And just all of these people that come in my life from different areas. Just try to learn and build and build and build. So I always tell one of the most recent ones and most impactful books I've read lately is the Book of Joy with the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. Really tremendous book. And one of the biggest things I find myself telling people all the time is his philosophy on worrying and like stealing present day joy by worrying about the future is obviously everyone knows control what you can control. So what he says is if you can control the outcome, then you shouldn't worry. If you can't control the outcome, then you shouldn't worry. And it's that simple.
I love that. Yeah. I really believe that kind of conversations are inspirational, especially for young athletes. So since we're talking about the mental side of the life of the game, especially in Europe, fans tend to see athletes as superheroes. So, and also they impose heroic traits on athletes. So, and at the end of the day, if they don't find what they were looking for at that superhero, they react. So is it something that you're dealing or do you deal with that? If yes, how do you deal with that?
It's something that all players deal with. Obviously, the higher the expectations are for you, the better player you are, the more scrutiny and critiques you'll come under. But as I always say, I play basketball for myself and for my family. I want to be happy and proud of my performance, and I want my family and then my guys in the group chat afterwards to let me know I had a good game. And everything else after that is irrelevant because, for example, I still have screenshots saved of fans who, when I signed the Fenerbahce, said, "Why are we signing Nigel? He sucked in Barcelona. We already have players like him." Those are the same fans who now comment, "Please never leave. We love you." I won't show those screenshots, but this is why I really don't care more or less what fans say, because when I wasn't playing for Fener, it was the same people that were, you know, all the Turkish cuss words, so I don't have to say them to you. So, like, you know what Turkish fans say when you don't play for their team. Now that you play for their team, they love you. And it's the same thing that happens after the games against the Serbian teams. I went to Partizan last year and had 21 in the first half. I'm walking to the tunnel. Again, you know Serbian. So you know what these people are saying. The same fans after the game are like, "Oh, bro, you had a great game. Come to Partizan next year." Like, why would I take seriously what any fan says to me when, as soon as you change teams, they love you more or they hate you. So it's never like it's the way guys change teams in Europe's like a fan should never impact anything you say because as many teams as you go on, when you're on their team, they'll die for you and kill for you. And as soon as you go to another team, it's you suck, you're the worst player ever. Like you can't take anyone serious that cheers like that. But that's the beautiful thing though about Europe is that that's how it works. Like that is the love. It's like if you're in my jersey, I'll die for you. As soon as you don't have my jersey on, you're the worst player ever, and I hate you. So on one hand, it makes the fandom and the atmosphere amazing. On the other part, it's like I don't care what you say in an Instagram comment or a DM. Like, stop.
Got it. So my last question is, I love the phonies for series. So and you're also doing so much content on Swiss TV. Are we gonna see something new?
Wait until you see. Wait until you see. Oh my! I'm loading it up. Loading it up. It's gonna be boom, 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 boom. I got the documentary series coming from the USA Experience. It's called The Mountaintop.
Wow.
Yes. So you're gonna get those episodes are gonna be coming. I also documented my trips and travels in South America. Those are gonna be coming. Great time. Definitely go to South America. Rio, best city I've ever been to in my life. Amazing. 11 out of 10. Highly recommend it. And also in my phonies first, I have like 8 videos ready to go. I just haven't like put them out because I've been a little busy, you know, with the whole like USA travel thing. I was kind of like trying to be as in that moment as I could, you know. So, but yes, the YouTube channel will be up and activated very, very shortly. Very, very shortly. So make sure all you guys subscribe. And my mother, so I'm going off my mother's advice and then some of my friends, like, they didn't want it to be called Swiss. So it's just Nigel Hayes Davis, Nigel_Hayes, like my Instagram, to keep the continuity. So when you go to YouTube, you will see all the videos and channels. There's going to be a lot of fantastic, tremendous content. I just talked to Chima Moneke about it too. I asked him too, like, hey bro, give me the secrets. It's just consistency. That's all it is. And then again, it's no surprise. The most important thing in this entire world is consistency. Because if your heart doesn't consistently pump, you die. That's it. Consistency. That's all you need. Be consistent. You can move mountains.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking time. Yo, we gonna get 51 this year.
To be honest with you, I will do my
51
best.
Savage.
I will.
Appreciate it.
I will absolutely do my best. Now that it's kind of like that 4-minute mile, you know, like once someone finally ran under 4 minutes, and it was like, oh, wait a second. So it is possible, but hopefully it's only possible for me. So I want it to be a Nigel record for a very long time.
No doubt, brother. No doubt, man. Well, no, I appreciate you taking time, man, to, drop these jewels and sit down for this interview. Obviously, we're going to get everything out, but man, safe travels back to Turkey. Enjoy the rest of the time that you got at home with the fam. And we're gonna be watching and pushing for you, man. So.
I appreciate it. I'll do my absolute best. Thanks for taking the time and sitting down with me and thinking what I got to say is important. The greatest human act is to inspire, so I try to do it as often as I can.
Thank you so much, Nigel. It really was a great conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.